How did you get over suicidal thoughts? Serious? I didn't. In the past year and a half I put a gun in my mouth, and on a separate occasion I put one to my head. When I went to pull the trigger, I asked myself if I had done all in my power to change the things in my life that I could to avoid reaching this point. Both times the answer was a very bold no, and so I thought to myself, well, let's give her hell and see what we can turn this life into. I'm happy to report I'm down 60 pounds and recently started my business. I'm a long way from where I want to be physically, financially, or romantically, but I'm going to get there because my only other option is to eat a bullet. And that's simply not an option. I used to have suicidal thoughts a few years ago, however I stayed with my parents, so I got much more time to think about it, than chances to execute it. I used to try finding reasons to live. One day I thought that even if I don't have a reason to live, maybe I should just sit through it and go ahead like everyone else does. Maybe, just maybe, it would become easier to live, maybe things would get better. I told myself that every day and made sure I was always around people so I wouldn't get any privacy to do it. Now, I don't know if I will not commit suicide, but I certainly have a higher tolerance level to it. My mom told me once that nothing is ever that bad as it seems to you. I would tell myself that, and the next day I would feel better. Also, asking a friend to come over so I wouldn't be alone. And the fact that I've heard that most people who survived attempts, their first thought was regret. I tried a few years ago. I failed obviously, and I just realized that everything is controllable, at least, everything that made me miserable. I left my abusive girlfriend, quit music school, got back in touch with my family and friends, and quit drinking. If you think your life is terrible and it should end, talk to a professional. Don't be stubborn. It could literally kill you. In the moment it became serious, I looked death in the eye and backpedaled. There were still some people supporting me. I still had some chances, even though I felt miserable. Even though I deeply hated myself. So, not yet. I'm not ready quite yet. This may sound stupid, but I thought how expensive funeral cost is. I was thinking, how am I going to get buried? My family doesn't have that much money. So I thought, man, if I die, I'll be put in a sack and thrown at the river. Not for everyone, but I tried pot for the first time and it at least temporarily helped until I could get professional help. Again, not for everyone, but it helped me. Turtles are great. Suicidal thoughts come and go, and that's normal. Know that when they're happening, often you're living on the edge and pushing life hard. It's where the most growth and change happens. Suicidal thoughts are normal. Actually killing yourself is a big mistake. At one point I spent around 3 years in a row without anyone talking to me outside of school. This caused me to change my entire personality several times. So I pretty much just ignored what was happening and focused on changing, but the only thing that truly kept me from suicide was that I was scared if everything just ended or everything keeps going. I am terribly afraid of both possibilities. Mine always manage to sneak their way back in. I've been really good about not letting it get to me, but lately it's been harder and harder to remind myself I've got a lot to live for. I know I won't do it, the thoughts just really sucks. Been dealing with this for over 10 years now, it does get easier at least. I personified it as an intruder in my life. Whenever I felt sad or suicidal, I reminded myself that that wasn't me. I'm the happy, well-adjusted side. That sad part was a sick thing that needed treatment and was just in my way. Small disclaimer, this is not an inspirational or a life-changing thing, but actually Pokemon is the reason why I'm still here today. Growing up I never had that many close friends that I could trust, so when hard times came I had no one to really go to because my mom always worked and my brother was in college. There was once a time in high school where I almost actually took my life, but so many emotions was flowing through my mind that I didn't know what to do anymore, so I took a breather and found my old Game Boy Advanced in my room with a copy of an unfinished Pokemon Emerald. I ended up playing for about a few hours to get my mind clear, and eventually it just became a ritual for me that every day I would come home and play Pokemon. Even now, 6 years later, I come home from work and I just spend my time playing Pokemon because I know at least I'll have something to look forward to when I come home. TLDR, Pokemon kept me from taking my life and gave me something to look forward to every day. I have repetitive suicidal thoughts/ideation due to having OCD, intrusive thoughts. Depending on weight/height/tolerance lorazepam or Ativan can really help. Distract yourself. It really kinda is fake it till you make it. Distract yourself and try to pick something good. Working out. A hobby. Something that makes money. Cleaning the house. Distractions like eating ice cream or drinking are more short-term fixes. A desire to live no matter the thoughts. Meds, up to 200 milligrams of Zoloft a day. Counseling time, hard work. Honestly, it sounds really stupid, but I just remember that there's a whole half season of The Flash waiting, and basically remembering any upcoming TV shows, video games and movies work for me. I got up and left my hometown. I moved to a new state and started at a university where I fit in. A lot of things that spurred my depression and suicidal thoughts happened in that town. I got reminders every day while I was there. Leaving allowed me to find a group of people who thought like me and accepted me for me. I also left an unhealthy relationship which helped a lot. I'm so much happier now. It's been much easier to deal with depression. I'm also in a healthier relationship. I got a puppy. We are best buds now. We probably spend 20 hours a day together. He is really attuned to my emotional state, so when I get the urgent emptiness he is like Velcro and tries to cheer me up. I just can't bring myself to end it because I know how much he depends on me, and there is no way I could die in his presence. That would be too awful to him to contemplate. I guess I still have the thoughts, but my dog keeps me from even coming close to acting on them. I hope I can articulate this moment that meant so much to me. I was in a bad place, making bad decisions and everything felt impossible. I was looking at a waterfall and imagined jumping from the top. I'm a stupidly romantic person, so having those thoughts while in front of such a beautiful view was a very low point. Then it occurred to me. If I'm in a place where suicide feels like the only option, doesn't that free me a bit? I mean, there is something about being in such a low spot that could be freeing. Saving myself is worth making choices I was scared to make. If death is the only other choice. I'm not sure I will ever be 100% over my suicidal thoughts. They come and go, but I am probably not having them at this time because of medication. I had them fairly bad for most of this year, and I was put on Effexor in September. It helped. Then, I had them again, and then they went away again. I don't think I've had any suicidal thoughts in 6 weeks. I think having supportive people all around helps too, even though it never seems that way in the moment. Comedy. I just remind myself that even though it will fix the problem, I won't be able to witness the ultimate satisfaction of the solution to that problem. Everyone else will though. In the most horrifying, life-changing way possible. To me that's not worth it. I would at least want to experience the solution realized. I don't get that by disappearing forever. I have had suicidal thoughts on a fairly regular basis since a really young age. I still struggle with this every day, so I can't honestly give any advice on how to get over them. But as dumb as this sounds, what gets me through each day is a list of things that I have decided to complete before I seriously plan to do it. Just little things. I have to clean my whole house so people don't know that I'm a slob. I have to write a good note. I would have to break up with my boyfriend, and make sure he is financially secure. I would have to quit my job so that I wouldn't inconvenience them, and so on. These are really trivial things. But when I am stuck in the short-term mindset that goes with suicidal thoughts, it gets me to the next morning. Moved away from my parents and got a job that wasn't in my dad's business. I drink a lot, in hope that whatever part of my brain is causing the suicidal thoughts will be killed off by the alcohol with minimal collateral damage. It's not a solution I'd recommend to anybody. Get over? Is there such a thing? I just learned to live with it and put myself in a situation where ending my life is more or less out of the question. The thought is still there, has been for more than 15 years. But my kids and my wife seem to need me around nowadays. Or at least I know their lives would be worse if I jumped, and so I just continue to walk the earth. TLDR, wife and kids seem to like me. I stay around for their sake. My family and teachers talked me out it.